Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to 90 Day Fiancé latest news. Fans of 90 Day Fiancé and its extended universe know that life behind the cameras often reveals more than the edited sequences show. This is because surprises are a big part of reality TV. Trusted news sources confirmed yesterday that Tim Malcolm and Tiffany Franco, stars of 90 Day Hunt for Love, secretly got married. This news shocked fans and entertainment outlets. It wasn't a perfectly planned press release or a glossy magazine exclusive that first broke the news. Instead, it was a viral video of the couple enjoying their Swiss honeymoon that got out. The clip, which was posted on Instagram, went viral and was picked apart by both fans and entertainment writers. Within hours, it was copied by dozens of other sites, which made people happy and curious. For a lot of people, the discovery was less about shock and more about proof. Fans of the franchise who have been around for a long time had already seen the romance between Malcolm and Franco evolve over the past few months. There were seductive Instagram lives, dating clips, and fun banter that made it clear that they were becoming closer. But the marriage, which was kept so secret, showed that the couple was more serious about their relationship than anyone had thought. Tim Malcolm and Tiffany Franco went from friends and co-stars to husband and wife in one of the most well-guarded reality TV love stories in recent memory. It is also a narrative about fan culture, being obsessed with social media, and the hard balance celebrities have to find between their private lives and the public's interest in them. People originally started talking about a link between Tim and Tiffany practically by accident. Malcolm, who was noted for his keen wit, well-manicured looks, and distinctive role in the 90 Day Fiancé canon, has been a familiar face to viewers since his difficult relationship with Jennifer Terrazona. Tiffany Franco, on the other hand, came into the franchise with her own story. Her whirlwind romance with Ronald Smith, their multinational love story, and the problems of co-parenting her young son Daniel between continents. When 90 Day Hunt for Love, a spin-off meant to give prior cast members a new chance at love, started teasing its cast, no one could have guessed that Malcolm and Franco would end up together during the show. At first, fans wondered if the producers had set up their interactions, or if they were real sparks that were lighting fire. Instagram, on the other hand, told a different narrative. There were clips of the two of them eating together off-camera, funny recordings of Tiffany making fun of Tim's strict grooming routine, and late-night lives where their connection was clear. Fans were already putting their money on them by the time the dating video of them came out. In the video, they walked hand in hand through Charlotte and laughed in a way that made it sound like they were more than pals. In a popular Reddit thread, one person said, "They're endgame," while another replied, "It's for clout." Just wait. Even though people were starting to guess, Malcolm and Franco were still being secretive in interviews. When asked directly on a podcast if they were together, Tiffany smiled knowingly and said, "We're really good friends and we enjoy each other's company." Tim, who is never afraid to make a witty comment, added, "She puts up with me, so that's already saying a lot." But what was going on behind closed doors told a different story. People who were close to the making of Hunt for Love later said that the two had formed a real bond while filming. They bonded over their similar problems with former relationships, the pressure of being famous on reality TV, and their love for their families. Insiders say it wasn't a relationship that happened overnight. Instead, it blossomed slowly, with Tim and Tiffany spending time talking to each other until the early hours of the morning. There was no haste for dramatic statements, unlike some reality couples. There was instead a peaceful consistency. They didn't need the attention, claimed one production assistant who didn't want to be named. They weren't acting for the cameras. You could tell by the way they looked at each other when they thought no one else was watching. In Hollywood, it's not uncommon for couples to get married in secret, but in the world of 90 Day Fiancé, where storylines are often stretched, delayed, or shaped for television drama, it was a very bold move. Media reports say that Malcolm and Franco got married in a tiny, private ceremony earlier this summer. Details are still secret, but insiders say the wedding was small, with only close family and a few close friends in attendance. People say that Tiffany's son Daniel was a big part of the ceremony. Malcolm, as always, wore a sleek but simple suit with one of his characteristic accessories. There were no cameras for the show, no TLC workers, and no special contract with the magazine. Insiders say that the concealment was planned. One insider added, "They wanted this to be theirs." After everything they've been through in past relationships, which were broadcast for millions to criticize, they needed something sacred just for them. If the wedding event stayed concealed, the honeymoon refused to stay hidden. Fans initially heard about their getaway to Switzerland when people on Instagram saw that their stories had the same geotags. A short video from a local travel blogger showed a couple who looked a lot like Malcolm and Franco riding a ski lift together. A few days later, a video of the two kissing in front of Lake Geneva went viral. The video was clear, even though it was raw and unedited. Within minutes, it was shared on fan pages, entertainment accounts, and gossip sites. The gates opened wide. "Tiffany and Tim are married?" One Twitter user yelled, getting thousands of likes. There were a lot of happy emojis, guesses about Tiffany's wedding dress, and even conspiracy theories about whether TLC had surreptitiously filmed the wedding for a future spin-off in the comments section of the viral video on Instagram. Soon after, the media caught up, with sources from Entertainment Tonight to people confirming the nuptials without naming names. By that time, the pair had stopped talking and allowed the viral frenzy do the talking for them. Fans have had a wide range of reactions, from happy support to doubt. A lot of admirers applauded the pair for being able to keep their romance private in a time when everything is often turned into money. One person on Reddit said, "This is the most real thing I've seen from 90 Day stars in a long time." Some people wondered if the concealment was part of a bigger plan to sell something. Another person said, "They knew the video would get out. This is how you get people excited for a new season." The split illustrates a broader reality of celebrity romance in the realm of reality television. Audiences need both intimacy and authenticity, while also scrutinizing the methods by which stars manage those expectations. The popular honeymoon video met Malcolm and Franco's needs in some ways and made things more difficult in others. Tim and Tiffany are still in Switzerland, and their Instagram profiles are full with beautiful pictures of the Alps, cobblestone streets, and balconies at fancy hotels. Neither has made a public remark about the marriage, although there are many hints. Tiffany uploaded a picture of a diamond ring shining in the sun with a heart emoji as the text. Tim then posted a selfie of the two of them in heavy coats and called it the best adventure yet. Fans, as expected, looked at every pixel. Was Tiffany's caption proof? Did Tim's words "best adventure yet" mean that he was working on anything else? And most importantly, would TLC recognize the union, or would they leave it as a side story for viewers to figure out on social media? This marriage is more than just the two people involved. It means something bigger in the 90 Day cosmos. The franchise has done well for years with drama, fights, and cultural differences. People like happy endings, but they are often overshadowed by difficult breakups or devastating betrayals. That pattern is broken by Malcolm and Franco's story. It isn't so much about loud fights as it is about being able to get along quietly. The fact that they chose to get married in secret, away from the cameras, goes against the idea that reality TV stars have to make money off of every part of their personal lives. It's not clear if this choice will make their relationship with the franchise stronger or more complicated. For now, though, they have made a story that feels refreshingly real in a world that is often defined by show. People are already guessing what will happen to the couple in the future. Will they come back to 90 Day? Hunt for love in some way, maybe as mentors for new singles? Could TLC make a spin-off about their married lives, like the hit shows Pillow Talk or Happily Ever After? Franchises? There haven't been any official announcements yet. Fans may be sure of one thing. This story is far from over. Tim Malcolm and Tiffany Franco have become one of the most talked-about couples in the 90 Day world, whether it's because of planned revelations or leaks that weren't intended. What makes this narrative interesting isn't only the glitz of a Swiss honeymoon or the shock of a covert wedding. It feels like, for once, reality TV stars have outsmarted the celebrity machine. Tim and Tiffany showed audiences that real love can exist even in the most public of situations by keeping their marriage private. Real love is messy, imperfect, and very intimate. Fans will keep watching, guessing, and enjoying the union that no one saw coming, but everyone is now talking about as the viral video keeps going around. The world already knew Tim and Tiffany's secret when they got on their aircraft back to the United States. They had planned for Switzerland to be a private getaway, a place where they could hold hands in public without worrying, kiss without strangers watching, and laugh without anybody recording the sound. But the bubble shattered as soon as that video went viral. When they got to Charlotte Douglas International Airport, the quiet anonymity they had experienced while traveling was gone. At the arrival gate, cameras and a lot of questions were waiting. Tiffany pulled her coat tighter, and her fingers curled around Tim's hand. The flash of cameras lit up the air like lightning in the summer. "Mr. Congratulations, Malcolm and Mrs. Malcolm. What is it like to be married? Were you going to tell everyone yourself?" A journalist leaned in with a microphone in hand. Tim smiled half-heartedly, like fans had seen him do 1,000 times on TV, but it didn't quite reach his eyes. He said quietly, "We'll talk when we're ready." Tiffany could tell he was tense by the way he held her hand. They went quickly through the terminal, following an airport guide, as other travelers looked on with interest. "We can't hide now," Tiffany said in a low voice. Tim said, "I know, but we don't owe anyone anything we're not ready to give." But when they got home, the truth of the moment hit them harder than their bags. Their phones kept buzzing. Tiffany's Instagram inbox was full of compliments, questions, and even some harsh words from people who didn't believe her. There were a lot of memes, fan modifications, and comments on Tim's page that picked apart every element of his ring, suit, and even the sunglasses he wore in Switzerland. They attempted to ignore it for the first few days. They stayed inside, leisurely unpacking and cooking together in Tim's kitchen. They also mixed up their daily lives. Daniel, Tiffany's kid, brought the house to life with the carefree energy of youth. He talked eagerly about school and video games, and sometimes sneaked peeks at what people were saying online about his mom and Tim. Tiffany would curl up next to Tim on the couch at night and scroll through endless speculation, her forehead furrowed. "People are talking about us like we're in a movie," she said one night. "Not people, just plots." Tim kissed her forehead gently. "Let them speak. We are the ones who are living it. That's what counts." But suddenly it wasn't just fans. TLC called. The network wanted answers because they didn't know about the secret wedding. They thought Tim and Tiffany's narrative would be a slow-burn romance that would develop over the course of several episodes of Hunt for Love. Instead, the two had gone ahead of the script, and the producers were having a hard time keeping up. There was a meeting planned, first online and then in person, with executives who talked in short, clipped tones about narrative arcs and brand consistency. Tim was polite and listened, but as he closed his laptop, he turned to Tiffany with a tired groan. "They don't care about us. They care about how to put us together." Tiffany nodded. "I understand, but we can't act like it doesn't matter. This show is one of the reasons we met." It was true. Their love had grown outside of the cameras, but the cameras had brought them together. Now they had to choose between going deeper into that realm or staying away from it completely. The matter got even harder to answer when family members got involved. Maggie, Tiffany's mother, called within days of the news becoming out. Her voice was kind, yet there was a hint of worry in it. She said, "You didn't tell me you were marrying him." Tiffany said, "I didn't tell anyone. It was private. It felt right." "And Daniel?" Maggie pushed. "I just want to make sure he's okay with all of this." Daniel looked up when someone said his name when he was sitting at the table with a bowl of cereal. Tiffany put the call on speaker. "He's okay, Mom. Aren't you, sweetie?" Daniel smiled and shrugged. "Yes. Tim is cool." Tiffany's heart swelled at how simple his answer was, but she also knew that it was usually not so easy to integrate a family. People still had questions about Ronald, such how her ex-husband would feel when he found out that Tiffany had been married again. Fans on social media were already tagging him in posts, which made them think there would be more drama to follow. Tiffany was afraid of the talk that was going to happen. Tim felt the pressure from a different place. Fans who were interested were bringing his ex-girlfriends from the franchise, Jennifer and Veronica, into the story. Old videos came back, memes spread, and all of a sudden, people wanted to know what they thought. Veronica, who is always vocal, eventually posted a mysterious Instagram story. "People move on. That's how life is. Stop asking me and wish them well." The media storm got even worse. Every day, entertainment news carried headlines like "Secret Wedding Shock," "Tim and Tiffany Married," "Inside Their Swiss Vacation." When the door opened at Tim's store in Charlotte, Paparazzi were outside taking pictures. When Tiffany came by, customers whispered about her. It didn't stop, and even though they attempted to shrug it off, the intrusion started to get to them. Tiffany broke down one night after Daniel went to bed. She was sitting on the edge of the bed with her phone face down next to her and her hands over her face. "I thought we would have at least a little time," she remarked, her voice quivering. "Just us. Just to breathe." Tim knelt down next to her and held her hands gently. He vowed, "We'll find time. We'll close the door, turn off the phones, and it will be just us. No pictures. There are no fans. Only you and me." Her eyes were red, but her determination was softening as she gazed at him. "Do you really think we can do that?" He nodded. "I know we can. Because if we don't, we'll lose everything we've battled for. And I'm not going to let that happen." So they invented a new beat. In the mornings, Tim made coffee and Tiffany packed Daniel's lunch. The little sounds of everyday life kept them grounded in the mayhem outside. In the afternoons, everyone worked on their own tasks as their phones buzzed nonstop in the background. Evenings became special. We had dinners without screens, laughed over mismatched dishes, and took peaceful walks around the neighborhood when the weather got cooler. But the outside world still got in. Fan accounts shared pictures taken by paparazzi. There were rumors that TLC was going to make a spin-off show about their marriage. Tabloids made up fights, talked about money problems, and even pregnancies. Tiffany read comments late into the night, even when the words hurt. She couldn't stop. Tim saw. He gently took the phone from her hands and put it down one night while she was scrolling through it for hours. He said firmly, "They don't get to write our story. We do." Tiffany started to trust him more and more. She paid more attention to the important times, as when she watched Daniel and Tim play video games together, heard her son's laughter echoing through the house, and felt Tim's warm hand in hers as they walked through the cacophony outside. But the hard part was far from over. Now the world knew, and it wanted more. The dilemma was still there. Could they live their love in the public eye without losing themselves, or would they find a method to protect it at all costs? For now, they held on to one another and whispered promises in the silence of their home. They chose to fight for the love that had astonished them both over and over again. It all started in Switzerland. The drama, the family, and the media circus that followed were the test. And while they faced it together, one reality remained solid. They were no longer two people looking for love on a reality show. They were married, and their bond wasn't based on cameras or narratives. It was something much stronger. And with all the noise outside, that was the most important thing. This gossip is over. If you liked the video, then give your opinion in the comment box and stay with us by subscribing the channel. Thank you.